YouTube, man? We're back at it again, man, with another video. You guys know what we love to do. We love to break down TikToks, man. TikToks gonna make us get chills, question reality, all that, man. You can find here on this channel. We got a good one for you guys today, man. So without further ado, let's get into it.
This is why you have to be careful in national parks.
Yeah, I've been hearing about these hot springs recently.
So in 2016, a man completely dissolved in a hot spring in Yellowstone. A lot of people don't realize these hot springs are near boiling temperatures, and a lot of them are severely acidic.
Yeah, Yellowstone at that, so
happens more than we realize.
Why would people try to get into hot springs, man? That doesn't make sense to me.
So it's believed that a 23-year-old man and his sister went
and all the
into
places to do it,
to
you do it at Yellowstone?
Which is when people secretly hang out in the cooler hot springs. It's like really not allowed in the park. His sister was filming him as he went over to one of the hot springs to reach down and touch it to test the temperature, and that's when he tumbled forward and fell in.
Damn.
A rescue team was able to get there, and they saw his body floating in the pool because a fall like that kills you immediately. But
so it's instant death as soon as you hit the water?
To get him out. And by the time they got there was nothing left.
What?
And unfortunately, this does happen more than we realize. Check out tonight's episode.
Really? Like I said, I haven't been seeing this on the news.
This old lady killed so many people. Baba Anushka, she loved chemistry. And when her husband died, she was like, I'm going to make the house into a laboratory and sell potions. So a bunch of girls came to her and they were like, we don't want our husbands to go to war. And she was like, I can make them really, really sick so they don't have to. And they were like, yeah, do that. So she started getting really, really popular. Okay. But then all the girls were like, we actually don't like our husbands. Can you do a little more? And Baba Anushka was like, yeah, I can kill them. So then all the girls were like, oh, we like this. So Baba Anushka made these deadly potions, gave them to the girls gave them to their abusive husbands, and they were dead in like 8 days. And Baba Anushka would do this thing where she'd ask the girls, how heavy is the problem? Which was code for, how heavy is your husband? Because I gotta make sure I put enough in it, mama. She was so successful that she hired a sales agent to go into town and like sniff out people with marital problems.
Really?
This one girl fucked it all up. After she killed her shitty husband, she used another potion to kill her new husband's rich uncle. And the police were like, can you explain this? And she was like, it was Baba Anushka. Baba Anushka was like, are you fucking kidding me? But she ended up getting out of jail and then living to 100.
Here are some facts that you probably didn't know that one day could save your life. If you're ever being attacked by a monkey, give it any food you have because they're overly aggressive when they're hungry. And if you don't have food, make sure the monkey knows by showing your empty hands. If you're ever cooking and the pan catches on fire, do not throw liquid on it. Instead, use the lid to smother the heat and do not remove it for a few minutes. If someone is smothering you with a pillow, move your head to the side to breathe, and if that doesn't work, play dead. Likely your attacker doesn't know exactly how long they'll need to smother you for, and eventually they'll give up. To test if a plant is edible, first smell it. If it smells bad, do not eat it, but if it's fine, you can rub a little bit on your skin, and if you have rashes or hives, don't eat it either. If it's still fine, swish it around in your mouth, and if you have no reaction, try eating a small amount before waiting a little bit and eating more. If you're being strangled by a python, stop trying to pry it off. You're not strong enough. Bite it and poke at its eyes until it gets frustrated and leaves you alone.
So I always thought no one ever dies at Disney. Like, even if something horrible happens, they get the person off the park so they can always say that no one's ever died there. But then I found out not only is that not true, but a law firm has compiled all of the incidents. I'm going to share a few of them with you, but if you're interested in...
They've been doing a good job of hiding it, because I haven't seen no freaking Disney deaths on the news and stuff like that.
So 2 of the park's worst accidents have both happened on the Matterhorn ride. One of them being a woman named Dolly, who in 1984 fell off of one of the back of the sleds onto the rails. At the time, these gondolas used to go into the rides, and so there was actually a family that watched her fall off onto the track.
Not them watching,
and so the family also saw as there was another car racing towards Dolly.
That is insane,
the dad actually screamed at his daughters to cover their eyes, which was for the best because Dolly got hit.
Imagine you're a little kid at Disney World trying to have a good time. You see somebody falling off a ride like that will freaking scar you for the rest of your life.
Hard. She got hit so hard that when EMTs arrived on the scene and were going up into the ride, there were park attendants coming down.
Look how old that news article is, bro.
So finally, when someone was looking at the car she was in, they noticed that her seatbelt was unbuckled.
Really?
But it's never been confirmed if she unbuckled her seatbelt herself.
They didn't check?
Or if an attendant didn't check her seatbelt well enough and it was never buckled in the first place.
Okay.
So the disgraced former doctor of the U.S. gymnastics team, Larry Nassar, was attacked in prison over the weekend. So if you're unfamiliar, Larry Nassar was a gymnastics doctor, including being the doctor for the U.S. gymnast team.
Okay.
And he is in jail right now because he abused over 260 girls, including Allie Reisman, who was seen here putting the nail in his coffin at his trial. Larry was able to get away with S.A.ing gymnasts for decades because everyone was covering up for him.
Really?
The U.S. gymnastics team was covering up for him. The FBI got involved and they lied about witness statements, and then 70 more girls went on to be assaulted. The earliest that Larry can get out of prison is when he's 144 years old, but at this rate, he's not going to make it that long. Because prison is not kind to people who commit crimes like Larry did, and this wasn't the first time he was attacked. Larry was also attacked in 2018 when he was moved into the general population of the prison.
Oh man, Gen Pop is different.
Because Larry got 10 times, suffering hits to the face, neck, and chest, but he is alive. And I know you're watching this and you're probably like, well, why would we be sad about that? Well, the victims don't necessarily want Larry to die by someone else's hand in prison.
Oh, really?
A statement from a victim today said that she would rather have Larry live out his time in prison because death would just be an easy out for him.
Sure.
This is the scariest tattoo shop in America, the Convent Tattoo in New Jersey. This place is reportedly haunted by over 1,000 ghosts. And it's home to 7 full-size skeletons, hundreds of haunted artifacts, and even serial killer artwork from people like John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown. Employees who have experienced paranormal activity here have actually quit overnight, and we spent the night alone in the building ghost hunting. What we experienced in there was shocking, and I'm about to play you a clip from my latest YouTube video that shows one of the scariest moments that happened right here. The full video is on my YouTube channel. You should definitely check it out if you like scary stuff.
The hell?
You gonna move the ball?
What the?
Knock one off.
Oh my gosh.
Wait.
The hell?
No way.
They moved the ball, bro. Hell no, bro. I'm out. You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me enough. I'm out.
Oh, dude, I just got f***ing anxiety, bro. I feel like something just walked up. I started on my right side, and it's like hard for me to breathe. What?
He's blindfolded.
I committed one of the worst massacres of World War II in Order-sur-Glane, France.
What?
I am Adolf Deichmann, and this is the bleak and tragic tale I carry.
Okay.
In the year 1914, I was born in Germany and rose to the rank of a German officer during the Second World War. By 1934, I had enlisted in the protection squadron and gradually ascended through the ranks. In June of 1944, I assumed command of the Das Reich unit under our German leadership.
Okay, what the
Tasked with quelling the French resistance, I was on the brink of perpetrating an unimaginable horror. On June 10th, 1944, I led my team into Border Circle, a tranquil French hamlet.
Damn.
That day, a dreadful terror fell upon its defenseless and entrapped citizens who were helpless against our onslaught.
What?
Our orders were to perceive them as terrorists. The men were separated from the women and children in the village square and herded into the church. Upon the signal, the men were pitilessly executed, and the women and children met their end in the blazing church. We, as a unit, spread terror through the streets and homes, leaving behind a village charred to ashes and hundreds of casualties.
The hell, man?
Justice never found me, as I met my end in the battlefield during the Battle of Normandy on June 29th, 1944. Please share in the comments the stories you'd like to hear next.
The hell that cat just moved like that for? The hell?
Captured on CCTV dressed in full police gear. Her identity still remains a mystery. 45-year-old Missy Bevers was a mother of 3. She was a fitness instructor who specialized in doing gladiator boot camps for her clients.
Okay.
On the morning of the 18th of April 2016, she arrived at a church in Texas to do one of her classes. However, minutes after arriving, she was killed. Now, the church she arrived at was only 20 minutes away from her house. It was around 4 a.m. that morning that she arrived at the church and she was unloading equipment from her car. Little did she know, someone was already in the building waiting for her. Dressed head to toe in police gear, the mystery figure entered the church at about 3:50 a.m. The person, as you can see, was wearing a helmet and gloves. The only real identifying factor was that their right foot was turned outwardly as they walked. 45 minutes later, Missy's body was found by her horrified clients. She had puncture wounds to her head and her chest.
What?
Now, looking into who could have committed such a hideous crime, her husband Brandon had an alibi. He was on a fishing trip in Mississippi. However, mobile phone records did show that Missy and her husband were talking about an affair. Missy had also received flirtatious messages on LinkedIn. Apparently, she had had quite a creepy message on LinkedIn, and she showed one of her friends. Now, this was actually shortly before her death. On April the 22nd, 4 days after her death, her father-in-law, Randy, did something very strange.
Which was?
He took a woman's top to the dry cleaners that was covered in blood.
Really?
Now, he said somebody had split up a fight between two dogs, but it was blood off the dog. Randy also had an alibi too.
Really?
He was in California at the time of the killing.
Damn, everybody had the
Police
same
analysed
alibis.
the blood found on the shirt, and it did actually come from a dog. Police then started getting tips about a former tactical police officer, Bobby Wayne Henry. He actually still had the full police riot gear like the one that the killer was wearing. However, he stated that his no longer fit him. He actually also walked with a limp like the person in the CCTV. However, analysis was done on the CCTV and they realised that Bobby was actually probably too tall to be the killer.
Damn, so they cycled through 3 persons already and they still can't find him. What the hell?
He was eventually ruled out and the mystery of who killed Missy still remains unsolved.
Really? What the hell? I'm trying to cross something, bro. What the hell? Under the damn stairs. I see like a shadow moving. That's creepy, bro. It's giving me the damn chills, man. What the hell?
I'm truly shocked this man has never been convicted of a crime. This is Bryan Singer, a famous A-list Hollywood film director.
Heard about him
movies
before?
like X-Men and a bunch of other stuff. If you haven't watched part 1 of this series where we talk about this guy, you should definitely go to that.
Alright, what did he do?
Pick up where we left
off. I know him from
the X-Men. So
the
it's now the year 2017, a few years ago. Bryan Singer has been accused 3 different times in 3 different lawsuits of acting inappropriately with minors, assaulting them, videoing them, etc. I mean, all you have to do is Google Bryan Singer and all these kind of disturbing pictures pop up. And I mean, just look at his eyes. It's a dead stare if I've ever seen one. It was in 2017 when this man, Cesar Sanchez Guzman, came forward and accused Bryan Singer of assaulting him. This is the 4th lawsuit that was brought against Bryan. He claimed that in 2003, Bryan Singer had assaulted him and drugged him. After this lawsuit was announced, the University of Southern California removed Bryan Singer's name from its campus. And this is where things really hit a turning point. Or do they? Well, a couple of years later, Bryan Singer approved a $150,000 settlement with Guzman.
So it's true.
Although he never admitted any guilt, he said that this was simply a financial and business decision. He wanted to put this behind him and just finish the issue
paying somebody else.
But I do think it's kind of fishy that you would settle a case like this and not fight it if you were purely innocent. So in 2019, the same year that the case of Guzman was settled by Bryan, this article came out in The Atlantic, which just blew the roof off of this case. This was a thorough investigative report that attempted to corroborate the claims made by all the accusers in the past, and even brought forward 4 new accusers with accusations that Bryan had, been acting inappropriately with them when they were minors. The article...
And they were minors too, but that figure makes me sick, but what the hell?
Also claimed that this lawsuit filed by Guzman was stalled and didn't go anywhere because Bryan Singer's legal team had reported Guzman to the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, and to immigration authorities.
Oh, they tried to get
Singer's
it sent away.
team denied this, but obviously it is something to consider here. After that last investigative article was posted, Bryan's name was basically wiped from Hollywood. A number of projects he was attached to were never released. After that last article came out, Bryan Singer's name was wiped from Hollywood, at least from the surface, I should say. And a number of projects that he was working on got dropped. And since then, a number of articles have come out claiming that he was manipulative, abusive,
so all this
he was an alcoholic, and this was all towards partners that were above the age of 18. So there's no real telling what the truth is in this story. But I will say that it's been alleged that Bryan Singer hosted these wild parties with underage boys with fellow film director Roland Emmerich. This was back in the 90s. The details of these parties are shocking and disturbing. You can watch that documentary, An Open Secret, once again, if you don't know what I'm talking about. But a lot of it is too vile for TikTok. But at the end of the day, I just think I'm shocked that after all of those lawsuits, all of the allegations, Bryan Singer has never faced any sort of repercussion for his actions beyond being essentially blacklisted from Hollywood from the surface. For more content like this, be sure to give me a follow here on TikTok.
That's weird, bro. What the hell? What the hell do that?
A boy, and the rejection led to my death.
Oh, what the hell?
Hello. My name is Junko Furuta. I was born in 1971, Mizudu City. I lived a relative normal and happy life.
Alright.
I was a very ambitious girl that were very focused on becoming successful.
Okay.
I was known to never drink, party, or do anything illegal.
Focused.
I didn't seem like the type to attract bad boy kind of personality. But one upcoming gang member named Mayano did fall in love with me.
What? Mayano?
And this gang member had connections with Japan's most feared criminal organization, the Yakuza.
Oh crap, the Yakuza.
He asked me on a date, but I was not feeling the same, so I turned him down. The result of my rejection was a fatal one.
What?
He felt embarrassed and humiliated, so he wanted revenge.
Just because you said
Around
no?
8:30 p.m. on November 25th, 1988, I was riding my bike home after my full shift at work. My night of joy was about to become a night of horror.
Damn.
As I rode home on my bicycle, I was suddenly pushed to the ground by Mayano's friend Minato, while Mayano hid nearby to begin his deception.
Mayano, okay.
He ran over to me claiming to have witnessed the attack and offered me to walk me home safely. I trusted him and allowed him to walk me home.
Alright.
Along the way, Mayano grabbed me and forced me into a warehouse. I was violated by Mayano in the most sickening way, having his way with me without any remorse. But this was only the beginning of my nightmare. I was assaulted again in a nearby hotel by several boys.
What?
They then concocted a plan to make me suffer for weeks. They took me to a house that already had been used as a gang hangout. They humiliated and violated me several times. They forced me to call my parents and tell them I was okay, so my parents would not inform the police. The first week of this ordeal, I was being forced to sleep in the balcony on cold nights.
Damn, what the hell?
I was being forced to sit in a freezer, and I was beat every single day.
What?
I unfortunately survived. The 10th day, Miyano and his friends would intensify their attacks.
They just ramped it up.
Skewers of hot food, scissors, and even fireworks was put inside me.
Oh my God.
I crawled to a phone in the house and called the police, but before I could call the police, my aunt caught me.
Damn.
I was subjected to even more pain beyond anything I had experienced yet.
What?
I thought my chance for freedom was lost, but one of the boys who had been invited to violate me decided to tell his brother what was happening at the Minato house, who then called the police. But police failed me. The police went to the house, but decided not to search it.
Really?
They believed the invitation to search the house was sufficient proof that there was nothing to hide.
And they failed for it, bro. That's true, man. They failed it, bro.
Had they followed through on the information they were given, I could have been saved. This got my Anna even angrier. He tied me to the ceiling and used me as a human punching bag. I was unable to breathe through my nose anymore.
What?
By day 30 of this ordeal, I was unable to walk. The damage to my internal and intimate organs were so severe that I could not even go to the bathroom anymore.
Oh my God.
I begged my captors to end my life, to release me from the pain. On the 44th day, they beat me up so bad I finally died.
Oh my.
Police found my killers, but the system was about to fail me in death like they failed me in life.
The hell?
Meino received a light sentence of 20 years.
20?
Minato, Agira, and Yasushi served around 8 years each.
What?
Today, they roam the streets free after serving their time.
Never open your door to a child at night, especially if their eyes are pitch black.
Okay.
It's a quiet suburban neighborhood. You're home alone when a knock echoes. Two children stand outside, their eyes as dark as the night itself. But these aren't ordinary children. There's something far more sinister. They ask to come in, their voices monotone.
Don't do it.
You feel an inexplicable dread. Reports suggest that they bring misfortune, even death. to those who let them in. They're about to close the door when one says, "We won't hurt you. Remember, never let the black-eyed children in. Beware of late-night walks in the woods. You never know what you might step on." In the dead of night, a young couple ventured into the dense forest. An eerie feeling crept over the man, but his girlfriend brushed it off. One evening, they watched an interview with a death row inmate. He recounted a night when a couple unknowingly stumbled upon his freshly committed crime in the woods. Their blood ran cold as the inmate revealed his identity, Ted Bundy. The couple was left haunted, realizing they had walked over a victim's body with a notorious killer lurking nearby. Always remember, the woods at night hide more than just the shadows. In 2017, an old woman who lived alone thought she saw something strange in her backyard. She went to the window to take a look. As she looked, she saw a shadowy figure standing outside. Scared, she watched the figure while calling the police, but when she hung up, the figure was gone. The police arrived and found her front door unlocked. They went in and saw her still sitting by the window. They searched the backyard but found nothing. When they checked inside the house, they found big footprints that weren't hers on the first floor. That's when they figured out what happened. The woman wasn't seeing a shadowy figure outside. She was seeing the reflection of someone who was in the room with her.
This is Sarah Boone, and she is a 42-year-old woman from Florida. And this is her boyfriend, George Torres. In February 2020, she claimed that her and her boyfriend, George Torres, were playing a game of hide-and-seek drunk. She suggested that George Torres should get in his suitcase as a joke. He got in the suitcase and she zipped him up. Sarah Boone then claims to have fallen asleep upstairs because she was drunk. At least that's what she told the police. When she woke up the next morning, she found that her boyfriend, George Torres, was dead inside the suitcase. He was in there for so long that he obviously sadly passed away. Instead of calling the police, she actually called her ex-boyfriend. And when he came to the house, he told her she needs to ring the police. So she rang the police and told them everything. But she was lying, because when they checked her phone, they realised the real truth. And that was she intentionally locked him in the suitcase and filmed him begging to get out.
Hello. It's my name. The word up.
She really filmed him calling her name and she didn't do nothing. Oh, she's a damn menace, bro. She different.
Be careful what you put in your body. In 2014, a couple returned to their home to find it trashed in baffling ways. There was lotion all over the door handles, all of their shoes had had their soles ripped off of them, and someone had dumped an entire can of paint all over the toilet. Despite the obvious break-in, the police come and can't find any evidence of theft, so they leave thinking the couple's not in danger anymore. That night, the couple hears scratching underneath their bed and what sounds like a crying animal. Not wanting to find out what it was, they leave and call the cops, who come right back and start investigating the house, and they make a startling discovery in their bedroom.
Which was?
Wedged underneath the couple's bed was this 90-pound tiny little woman carrying a huge butcher's knife and a hypodermic needle. As they're taking this crazy lady away in handcuffs, one of the officers comes over to the couple and is like, so she was high on meth, and for at least 2 hours, she had been burrowing a hole in the underside of your mattress with that knife to get to you.
Security cameras of a construction company showed a man murdering a woman and moving her dead body into his storage unit.
Her rental unit has been entered by another individual.
Okay.
We have it on surveillance case.
It turned out that that man was called Michael J. Olson. Due to his history of petty crimes, when police tracked him down, they tricked him into thinking he was being questioned for something other than murder.
So your storage unit up there.
Oh, they used the IQ to trick him. Okay.
When he finally caved in, he shared his gruesome confession. When he came face to face with the victim's family in court, they certainly didn't hold back.
I'll pray for your family, but I won't pray for you. Because you are the devil.
The full story is out on my channel now, with all of the horrid evidence that comes along with it.
A vicious person who raped and murdered her.
What?
Let's talk about one of the most disturbing Hollywood stories ever.
Sharon
Tate murders. On the night of August 8th, 1969, Tex Watson and a trio of Charles Manson female followers made their way up Cielo Drive in Beverly Hills, California.
Okay.
Armed with a .22 caliber revolver and a few buck knives, they made their way over the fence to Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski's house. Now the thing is, Roman Polanski was not there. He was overseas filming a movie. So it was 8.5-month pregnant Sharon Tate, Jay Sebring, who is a famous hairstylist, and a couple of their friends. All they were doing is having a fun get-together until tragedy struck.
What happened?
All 6 people in the house were brutally murdered, including Sharon Tate's unborn baby. These were all Charles Manson's orders. He told the followers that did this act, brutally kill anyone that is in that house. Of course, Manson thought Roman Polanski was there, which was his main target. He even told one of the girls to leave a message behind. Quote, something witchy. So one of the girls, in Sharon Tate's blood, wrote pig on the front door.
Pig.
There's a lot more to this story that I do want to talk about. But I really want to talk about what I felt being in front of this house.
Why would he?
Now, I've gone to this drive a few times to paranormal investigate a house that is just a couple doors down.
Okay,
so I go up the drive and go to the Sharon Tate murder house gate. It's pretty crazy just looking at the exact way the Manson followers went around the gate. Just imagining them doing that and what was going through their mind, knowing what they were about to do. Matter of fact, one time I had a group of people with me, and we were standing right there and heard feet shuffling right on the hill.
What?
It wasn't an animal, and it definitely wasn't the wind. It was very weird. And of course, the energy is extremely dark. This is the house now. I'm not sure if anybody's paranormal investigated it recently, but man,
when they got the remodel, I don't think people did.
It's so sad to think of this story and think of these innocent people who tragically died and how popular this story is.
Yeah, like what the hell?
I'm sure it's hard for them to move on.
He murdered his own damn baby.
Not only do I think their spirits are still there, there's got to be a lot of just residual tragic energy into those walls.
So I get asked this question.
Dark energy is there, bro.
What's the scariest book that you have in your collection, or scariest books?
Okay.
And so I put together a list of 5. And the Egyptian Book of the Dead doesn't even make the list.
What the hell?
What books do make the list?
Okay.
This book is from 1589.
1589? Damn.
It is a book on demonology, written by none other than James I, or King James.
King James, what the hell?
The man who would have the Bible printed that carries his name. He wrote a book on demonology and witchcraft.
Really? What the hell?
Next,
I never knew that.
Is the most sinister book ever written on witchcraft and demonology.
What the hell? You can't even see the title.
Or Hammer of the Witches.
Hammer of the Witches.
This book is responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands of people who
really?
Witchcraft.
This is like all witchcraft books?
Witch hunting guide. This was used from about 1500, printed in 1486, from about 1500 to 1750, including
the Salem witch trials. Okay.
Here is the first English edition of Malleus Maleficarum.
Which is? Ooh, what the hell?
Okay, next, a very small book, but it is called
The True
Black Magic, or The Secret of Secrets.
So that's some dark magic, some black energy book? What the hell? Oh, hell no, we're not reading into those books, man.
The original book, Occult Philosophy, was printed in 1533 by Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa.
Okay, these are some old books, bro.
All other books on occult philosophy reference this book.
What? Really? What the hell?
And finally, the last item isn't really a book, although it does include a book.
Okay, what is it?
It includes a Bible. But this is the contents.
What?
That came from Charles Manson's prison cell.
Really? What the?
Now, some of these other books give off a creepy vibe, but just wait. I mean, that's a letter of Squeaky, or a photo of Squeaky Fromm. this is a Bible given to him by one of his members, and he has little clippings from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. There are letters.
Okay.
And I've read these letters from his followers.
Yeah,
you can't unread those.
Yep.
And you say, well, how do you know that came from his prison cell?
Yeah.
There's his hall pass, his prison pass.
Oh, man. That really is true.
The most bizarre, the craziest thing,
which is,
are his notes in his own hand, where he tells the story of why he is, or why he is who he was.
Really?
That, again, you can't unread. And with all the scary books, nothing gives me the creeps as much as the contents of Charles Manson's prison cell.
Charles Manson items, bro. That's crazy, man. YouTube, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today, man. Like I said, it's always up to you guys to decide whether the TikTok clips that we look at, is it fake, is it reality, man. Like I said, I'm bringing you guys these longer videos. I hope you guys enjoyed them, man. Like I said, in order for us to grow this community together, man, I just need you guys to do two things. Hit that like button, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. That's all I ask of you guys. You guys gonna catch you in the next video, man. Like I said, I'm grinding. Can't wait to check out some more creepy TikToks with y'all, man. Peace, YouTube.